Good morning. Happy Sunday. Hope you all had a great weekend. Let's see if I'm going live here. Make sure. And yes, we are live. So please share this out. Oh, what happened? You get kicked. Well, don't. Just go back off. Use your alternate account. So let's see if anybody's in here. If anybody's in here, please comment. If you are in here, we're going to talk a little bit about duality, spiritual Xanax, keen awareness, and all the above. Basically all the above. Kind of talk about. Hello, Aaron. Talk about being aware and being able to, being okay or not being okay with it, but being aware of all of it. So I'm going to wait till this gets up to about 30 people watching, and then we will begin. So I'm going to share this a little bit. Let's see here. So I hope you all had a great weekend. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Janice. Copy this link. Just a minute. I'm just sharing out real quick. So please, if you can, share out groups on your page, other networks, other social networks if you'd like. I appreciate it. We're going to talk about a couple of things, and we're going to do some psychic readings online right here live, like usual. For those who haven't been here before, welcome. I basically come on the weekends and do free readings, and if you'd like to book or schedule a free reading when this is over, just send me a message here on the page that I'm broadcasting from, and we can set something up. But for now, I'm just sharing here a little bit before we get started. And it's hard to multitask. Let's see here. Good morning, Aaron. Hello, Jen. Hi, Beck. Nikki Farrell. Morning, handsome. Good morning. Thank you for the compliment. So please share. If you're just joining, please share this out. Groups, your page, everywhere. We're going to wait till this gets up to, it is about 30. So I guess we can start. If you want to share some with mine, you can. I'm just right there. Share on some of my groups, but you haven't. Thank you, baby. All right. So today I wanted to talk about, and I've been seeing it go on for the last couple of years, especially since we have kind of gone through this awakening period, right, for the last few years. And I see a lot of, and I think at one point, our level of awareness, when we reach certain levels, we do need to get to that point of letting go, right? To get, when we first start to awaken, I think letting go, not focusing on the negative so much, because we have been thrown a lot of negative in our lives throughout our lives, whether it be through the TV, the violence, or, whatever they're kind of projecting out or is being projected upon us. We grow up with, and in a lot of our communities, we've kind of dealt with a lot of separation, ignored each other, really. And we've ignored a lot of what went on because we've let it go, right? We've kind of let things go and not, I don't care about this. I don't care about, that's just negativity. I don't want to deal with that negativity. It just causes me pain, causes me, to worry and have these emotions that I don't like feeling. So, and like I said, we do need to get to that point to let it all go. But then once we let it go, it's kind of a reset. It's like we start to get back, and back assimilated back into the matrix, right? That we all live in, or life. So it's really easy to kind of fall back asleep if we just get to that point of letting go, where we're letting go of the negative, we're not focusing on the negative. That's a good place to be. However, it's not a place we need to stay. We need to evolve past that, understand that there is negativity in this world. No matter what you want to try to do, there is negativity. No matter how much you want to ignore it, there's negativity just as much as there's positivity, right? Of course, we want to live in that positive space. Of course, that's where we want to strive to be. That's where we always, hopefully, are striving to be, is that, having that happiness, that inner peace, which is true happiness. It doesn't come from the outside, right? That happiness doesn't come from the outside. It comes from within, like we all say. If you're not happy with yourself, you're not going to be happy with anything. I mean, there might be temporary moments of happiness when we buy a new car or buy something new. Of course, we get that temporary moment of happiness, but it wasn't my parents used to say, we buy you toys for Christmas or whatever, your birthday, and you play with them for a week and then you're done. You're not really excited about them anymore. And that's really, that's really what we've kind of become, is this, we need to consume what's happy, and that's not what makes us happy. It gives us temporary moments of bliss, yes. Whether that be drugs, material things, anything, it doesn't matter. Anything that we're really focused on, looking for that happiness on the outer, it's very fleeting. True happiness comes from within. True happiness does not come within if we are just ignoring one side of life, the duality of light, the dark, the light, all the gray in between, and all the colors in between. That is life. I mean, this is the push and pull. This is the yin, the yang. This is life. This is what we're supposed to be doing. This is that balancing act. So ignoring one side of ourselves or the outside, and others, which is a collective of us, right? Ignoring the atrocities, or, simply wanting to kind of just put all of that away, of what's going on in the world, the wrongdoing that's being done to people, to our brothers and sisters, or ignoring, just the things that are happening right here, within our home, within our family, within our community, ignoring any of that negativity. And of course, there's a lot of negativity out there that really is unnecessary. I mean, I try to watch a movie and everything seems to be a horror movie anymore, which I can watch a horror. I'm good. I'm down with a horror movie every once in a while, but I do like to kind of project more of the positivity. However, I don't want to forget about the negativity that's going on, because if you forget about the negativity, if you cut yourself and you just leave it alone, right? That's negative. It hurts, right? It's a scar, or it's now a gash in your arm. So you cut your arm. If you ignore it, it'll get infected and it'll grow and it'll take over, right? I mean, that might not be the best example, but this is what I'm trying to convey to you, is the people out there, and a lot of spiritual teachers or leaders, talking about just ignoring and just being good to each other. Of course, we should be good to each other, but we don't ignore all the things that are continuing to go on, as we just sit here and say, let's ignore all that negativity. Same as, you pull up on a car accident, or you see a car accident happen, and you're going to ignore it. A lot of people do. Or you're going to get out and try to help. And that's the same thing with what's going on in the world, the things we're seeing on social media, the negativity. We need to understand and use our critical thought, of course, because there's plenty of that negativity that's false negativity. It's just there to scare you. It's bullshit, right? But there's a lot of real news out there and real information coming from real journalism that is telling you what's going on, or giving you a glimpse. Don't fall asleep again by ignoring that negativity. Don't fall asleep again by allowing yourself to only pay attention to the positive and not be aware of the danger of the negatives. That's basically all I wanted to say about that. So, namaste to everybody. Thank you all. Like, we got a few people in here, so thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. Once again, I am Aaron's psychic shaman, Aaron Fowler. I don't even know how I put it there. Aaron Fowler, psychic shaman. Like Aaron Fowler, pet detective. Anyway, that's just the way it sounded best. So I deal with energy. I do a lot of etheric work. I do a lot of energy work. I do a lot of mental healing, emotional healing, and utilizing my psychic abilities, being able to connect to that greater consciousness, my own and others, our collective. So I've been doing this for almost 20 years. It will be 20 years here next year, or this coming November. So I basically just kind of putting, gonna get on and do these readings. They're free readings for people. I can't catch you all in one show, but just to kind of show you what I'm doing, and kind of give back a little bit, and kind of help you out with some of these, quick messages that do help. And they're just kind of consider it kind of a daily message or something for the day, or something to kind of think about, or don't. I mean, it's up to you. Anyway, so let's see here. If you guys have any specific questions, that would be best. If you want just a general message, that's okay too. But please, I ask, please share. Please share this as much as you can, as much as possible. Afternoon, Jonah. Hello, Monica. Let's see if we get any questions here. I'm scrolling the wrong way. There we go. Let's go down to the bottom. They're kind of lagging. How's the feed? Does it look good? Feed okay? So you shared it out. Okay. There we go. That actually might be better. The phone's working perfectly. Hello, Crystal Marsh. Haven't seen you in a while. How's it going? Good to see you again. You sound like Sam from Supernatural. I dig that show. I used to watch that show all the time. It's been a while though, huh? With every positive, there's a negative. Laura Marie Hunt says, yes, it's very true. It's very true. It's the duality. It's the yin, the yang. That's my favorite symbol. And I'm a Pisces, so it's the two fish, right? Swimming in that circle, in that eternal circle. So I have a decent understanding of what duality is. It's part of my personality. It's part of all of our personalities. It's part of this world, the micro, the macro. Ernie Moonlump says, that sounds true. Like, again, you think about it. Take some time to think. That's what I'm saying. If you see something that seems kind of negative or seems negative, go look at it. Take a look. Don't be afraid. You can put it down if you start to feel like, it's not doing you any good. But I think looking at some of these negative stories, these stories that really they're putting out the stories a lot of the time so we can gain more positive, or we can heal that part of ourselves, in this world, in humanity. Struggling, but trying to stay positive. Well, you got a lot of goodness coming, because you've had a lot of, it's not bad luck, but I feel like you've kind of gone through a transition, Crystal. I think you're kind of going through this place of learning who you truly are and what you truly want, really. I think that's something that I feel like it's time to kind of get even more authentic with yourself, and understand, some of the things that have happened over the last, last year or so. As much as they piss you off, they happen for a reason, to put you in a better place. So I'm glad you're working on the positivity. I'm glad you're working on keeping things light, rising yourself up again. But there is negativity. Like you said, you've had to go through some things that you can't just ignore. I mean, you ignore them, they'll show up right on your front doorstep, right, or right in your face. You can't ignore them. Eventually you can't ignore them. And a lot of it is within. You have to look within and see, what mistake am I making? Am I getting involved with the wrong person? Am I getting involved with the wrong type of people? Am I taking the wrong direction for myself that's not in harmony with me? These are things you have to know that it's not in harmony. Therefore, you have to pay attention to it, and which is kind of negative. If it's disharmonious to you, it's probably not something, as far as a career or love life or friendship, If that's disharmonious, why do you keep trying to make it work? If it happens over and over again, it never continues to be fixed. You know, that's we're going to go into another area here of negativity, but and working on it. You know, really paying attention to it so you can know what needs to the solution or come up with a solution from that angle. Looking at the negativity of it. I know that got a little confusing there, but what is my Lisa Hip said? What are my abilities and what's the strongest? I feel like you have a pretty good balance. I believe your third eye abilities, your clairvoyance abilities, or clairvoyant abilities are very very strong. But it seems like empathic abilities are just as strong, if not more. Hello, Sharon. Oh, I better use the phone. I keep forgetting. Laura Marie Hunt, why do I keep seeing the number 23? All I'm getting is it really seems to be a number of synchronicity for you at the moment. So if you keep seeing it, it's basically kind of one of these things like a deja vu in this case. Now, the three and the two do represent a lot of, I feel like transitioning from two to three, which is two represents kind of that combining of efforts, and three would be the creation of those efforts, right? The fruition of what you've created. So those numbers signify a lot. I mean, I'm not going to go into too deeply what they mean, but I feel like a lot of it is synchronistic. It's more telling you you're on the right track, that you're headed down a successful path. Kathleen Boyle, first time here. Welcome. Let's see here. Would appreciate guidance. A little bit of I feel like a little bit of a depressive state for a little while you've been in. I think you're lifting up out of that. Um, I feel like a lot of good things are coming again. Like I was saying with Crystal, you kind of had to deal with some of the negativity that you couldn't ignore, and I think you've done that well. But you've taken a lot of energetic beating, right? So it's kind of a time to heal right now for you. But I feel like next month things are really going to get, I feel like, a lot more exciting for you. So it looks like some good things to look forward to. Good energy. Feels like being in a lot of, around a lot of friends or a lot of, family connections. That's where I feel like the happiness comes from, is that connection, making that connection with friends, being able to spend time with them. Monica Garcia, can I have a card reading? I don't read. I mean, I do read cards, but I don't usually read the cards. I haven't read cards. I read them for myself every once in a while. I'll pull a card, or if I'm like looking into something that I'm kind of attached to myself, or I'm just as involved with. Because when I'm involved with it, it's a lot harder for me to be unbiased about it, right? Um, so I usually use a card for that. But I can give you a reading. Let me see here, Monica, with Luke. Things are coming together with Luke, Monica. I feel like they're a little bumpy, or they were a little bumpy. I feel like it's kind of bumpy right now, just because there's not enough communication, um, or perceived not enough. You're perceiving that there's not enough communication, but I feel like you're in the stage of this connection. You're right where you're supposed to be. Don't rush it, but know that this connection is moving forward. You should be able to see that. Even the bumpy parts of the road in this situation, I feel like are they're necessary for your growth. It's like strengthening that connection. You guys are working together more than you're working apart, for sure. Katerina Pereira. Pereira. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Are my guides from Sirius? Well, yeah, I mean, you're connecting to that, right? So mentally, you're connecting to guides from Sirius, so you're going to get guides from Sirius. Think bigger. You could get guides from all over, and ones that you can call on that you've never spoke to before, right? So yes, that question generally yes, but mainly because you're focusing on that right now. But understand, there's so much more. I mean, as far as guides, I think it's really who you want to tap into, and as far as your guides that are kind of commissioned to you, which I do believe to a certain extent, from what I've seen, because I know there are emissaries that work for you or work with you and give service to you down here on this plane. um, I don't see any of them being more. I feel like the ones you're getting that guidance from, it's because you're connecting to Sirius. um, that's what I'm picking up. Debbie Kabalansky. I went to a doctor twice with my throat not feeling better. Should I go back? Well, if you haven't been really recently, like within the last couple of weeks, if your throat's not feeling better, yes, you should go back. If it's only been a couple of days, I feel like you need to give it a little bit more time. But from what I'm picking up, if it's not healing, and if they're not finding the answer for it, like they're not finding what they can do to take care of it, yes, you need to go back and probably go to a different doctor. Leslie Stewart. Do you see a job for me soon? I see a couple of jobs for you, but I don't know if they'll be ones you'll want to take. Like, I feel like you won't take them. Uh, I feel like within about 2 months. So it could be closer to something ideal for you that you will enjoy doing. And I feel like you will have a job within 2 months. So hang in there. Do what you got to do to take care of things within limits, of course. You don't want to rob banks or anything like that. Trying to find the light in everything, but feel like I can't reach it. Well, in everything, it's kind of a okay. Watch what you're doing. Are you doing something over? I feel like you're making a mistake over and over again, and expecting it to turn out differently. Change it up. Do things a little differently. Do them different than you ever would. More different, not in a negative way, but I feel like this is what I'm getting is be aware. Again, don't ignore the negative things that you do. We have to be able to see some of the negative things that we do, so we can be aware of them, and so we don't make those same mistakes over and over again. So I feel like it's more kind of looking to change the way you're doing things, change the way you're handling things in this situation, and I feel like you will start to see the light in everything. But you see it. I feel like you're in this spot that it's not easy to deal with. It's not easy to look at yourself and say, you know what, I could do this and I could do this, and things would be a lot different. But that's where I feel like it's more self introspection, seeing how you're reacting and handling things, and how you're living. I feel like you're not living in a way that breeds that happiness, right? Within. Robin Shapiro. Namaste, Karen. Karen Lokes. Uh, Robin Shapiro, anything for me? I feel like there's something, I don't know if this is friends or you're connected to somebody. You don't want to get too heavily involved in like in between it, right? Don't get in the middle of it. Whether this be through talking about it with one or the other, be careful not to be that gossip, right? Or be careful not to be that person that is kind of playing both sides, but you're trying to make things better. I feel like you're trying to make things better or trying to bring it together, but you're going to end up being looked at as the gossip in the middle person. That's I don't know. I hope that makes sense. Meddling, yeah, like a meddler. Yes, perfect. Thank you. Cat Doherty, any guidance? Had a lot of what seems to be blocks for a lot of years. Again, you've got to come to this certain place where you're brave enough. You are brave enough. You have the courage. It's just within you. You've got to bring it up, right? To make that change, to make a shift for your lifestyle. And some things are going to have to be sacrificed in this process. So that's why it takes the courage, right? And also the fear of the unknown. We fear what, if we change things up this to this. I feel like you've been living your life that you want to for, to a certain extent. And then it got to be, I don't want to live this way anymore. I don't want to be in this. I would like more for myself, right? Um, if you want more, you have to take the action to get it. And it is going to take some sacrifice. Some sacrifices you won't like. But that's what life does to you. Puts you in situations that don't really force you to make a decision, but really shows you it's time for a change. And if you resist that, it gets worse. If you continue to live stuck in that same box that you wanted to get out of in the first place, it gets worse. It just it's like a nagging kind of feeling all the time, and it will cause disharmony in your life. So the solution would be make some changes. Start living your life, and for some of the things you want to live, and some of the things you want to do. Whether this is a change of address, like moving, or kind of somewhat of a change of lifestyle, I see. Start doing it for yourself. Let go of the pride. Don't worry about who's going to be pissed off at you if you do. I feel like in your situation, you desperately need that change. Barbara Ann Heron, do you see my house selling soon? I I feel like there's going to be somebody coming in within about a month. I don't feel like they're actually going to buy it, so don't. So be careful not to get too excited. Keep yourself grounded. Within 6 months, I'm seeing your house sell. Um, I want to say sooner, but I keep getting that 6 month mark. And take a drink here. Janny Rosenberg, do you see me working in the future with my clairvoyant gifts? Yeah, I feel like it's going to be something that you do more on a part-time basis. So yeah, I think it's looking more of it just being doing something that you can do after, when you're in your own kind of spare time. I feel like you'll do a lot better when you're not kind of pressured to do that all the time. I just feel like there's which you need to be focused on, and you are focused on. But I think it is something that you just need to kind of get started slowly, um, which you can start doing immediately, right? What does it mean to dream of spiders? Stacy Favell says, Fable. Sure how to. The spider's not exactly a bad thing. The spider represents, you ever seen a spider's eyes, thousand eyes, and they weave webs and they create their own, they create traps. I mean, that's, I'm starting to look at the negative. But really, as far as the way I've seen a spider and what I know of spider medicine, is it's about visions. It's about clairvoyance, really. If the spider's coming to you in dreams, partly of this is part of this is your fear, but also look at and see your similarities with the spider. Really pay attention to the similarities. It's a lot of those dreams are symbolic. Dreams are very symbolic. The higher planes are very symbolic in the way they express themselves. So it's really kind of reading a different language in a way, more through expression than talk or sight. But sometimes that expression you have to see, right? Sometimes you feel it. So I would look more into your traits, the traits of a spider, and how they, because I feel like that animal or that entity is actually very close to you, very as a strength. That archetype is a strength for you, the spider. Wanda Smith Fortner, has my husband been lying to me? Yes, but not about what you think. Like, I feel like more about white lies, stupid lies that end up causing stupid situations. That's what I'm picking up for Wanda. Do I need to be more of ABD? Although I don't like that. The way you come at me, Ernie, you speak a different language too. That's okay. I read between the lines. No, you be yourself. You need to be yourself. That's what's important. Take your own steps the way you need to. I mean, I could say I want to build a house, but if I don't know how to build that house and I don't take those steps to build it, I'm going to build a shitty house. So sometimes, yeah, A, B, and D, for whatever you want to do, for whatever's necessary. But if you don't like being a certain way or doing this, D. Desrosiers, Desrosiers. Sorry. Am I on the right path moving forward? You're always on the right path. Sometimes we take the long way, but still the right path is still leading you to that place. But as far as, are you on a good path? One with less resistance? Yes. Understand sometimes resistance is necessary. But yeah, I do see you on a good path right now. I feel like health plays a big part too. Mental and physical and emotional. I mean, I feel like you're really working on that centering or balancing. That's good. Stick with it. Dolly Dingus, what do you get from my career? Generally, what I get for your career is it's all about setting up for the next 10, 15, 20 years. It's all, so getting yourself in a place where you're able to kind of, whether this is setting up for retirement or what, I feel like something more stable that is long term. Something that has those kind of benefits that sets you up better in the future for retirement. Is your husband still lying to you? Somewhat. Yeah, like it's more like lies of omission. He lies like a little kid. Like, I don't want to get in trouble, so I'm just going to tell him. Like, it's more fibs than it is lies, is what I'm picking up, Wanda. Angela Warth, very big week coming in my new career path. With new moon coming, will my department be successful? Yes, but be patient. Don't try to win it all over in the first month. I feel like this is a long game. This is something you need to be patient with and take. I feel like it's going to be small victories that lead to the bigger ones. So focus on the small victories. A lot of this is working with each other, um, allowing or helping others to be lifted up, sometimes above you, sometimes when it comes to this. For that's what I'm picking up is helping others succeed as well. Helping others succeed is what's going to bring you success, or your own success. I think it's better to be nice than to be A, B, D. I'm not so sure. Well, keep observing, Ernie. You're very welcome, Barbara. Okay, it's doing a little locking up now. I'll have to go back to the phone. Angela Worth, new energy in my home lately. Is there a message from spirit or do I need to cleanse? It's always good to cleanse and bless, right? I feel like it's not something that, I mean, really the energy feels good there. I feel like if you do hear any of those voices, I feel like you are in a very strong energetic place. So whoever was living there before really energized that energy really boosted it. And it feels very positive. I mean, of course there's a little bit of negative, but I don't feel like it's anything you need to be afraid of. I feel like it's more something, just go ahead and bless and cleanse the home. And I think you're going to be fine. I think you're going to enjoy your home. So Elaine Spurgeon, I have an important day Wednesday. Will it go my way? I just got a rhyme in my head as soon as I read that question. Yes, but not without delay. It will go your way, but it is something you're going to have to wait till, I feel like, after Wednesday to find out. Diane Pearson, is my heart health in trouble? From a spiritual perspective, I don't see. I mean, I feel like it's something that you want to keep, keep regular checkups with the doctor and with your doctor, also keeping yourself in check, right? Keep checking up on yourself. Um, but I feel like it's something you can overcome or something you can get to a place where you're not worried about it as much. I think it's something you really need to pay attention to right now. So whether that's cutting out certain things from the diet or what you're intaking, um, being good to your heart, right? Eating for your heart. April Kassan almost. How is my physical health? Will simple exercise and diet change help? Yes, for sure. It will definitely help. Um, and I think it's just really it comes down to willpower, and that will grow as well as you continue to do that and stay disciplined. I need to stay more disciplined on how I eat and my exercise. So I know how that one goes. I mean, I need to start exercising. I need to get out and start being a lot more active. It's been a cold winter here, and it's time to kind of get out. It's snowing right now. Damn it! Keep freezing. I know. See, I went on the. Sorry, it's freezing, but I went on just a regular. I usually use Lightstream to go live, and I just did it from Facebook. And it's the internet. It's because it's snowing here. I think it always kind of screws up. The Wi-Fi always screws up when it's snowing. Carmen Anderson. Hi. Hi, Aaron. Hello, Carmen. Energy looming over me to stop me from moving forward, or around you, or you're allowing a lot of it by your own thoughts and emotions. Our biggest enemies are ourselves. You know, the biggest demons we have in life, though there are demons, or what we would like to call demons. Yes, there are such a thing. However, I think our personal demons are the worst, the ones that we breed and grow ourselves, being fears. Um, Fears of change, fear of continue to live that way when we're not confident in ourselves, which I feel like you're a firecracker when you want to be. I feel like it's not something you want to think too much that, if there's something, it's more about focusing on the people you're around, the environment you're in, right? I say right a lot. Sorry about that. I'm just noticing it. But it is more about your surroundings. Seems to be talked about a lot right now, the surroundings. And this is kind of going through in my life. I'm going through similar things, having to change. And it gets a little scary. I feel the change is coming, and it's not easy. But no, I feel like you only have that if you allow a lot of it. I mean, there's obviously dark energy just as much as there's light energy. It's the yin and the yang, right? But nothing stopping you. Maybe delaying you sometimes, but not stopping you from what you want. As long as you're in alignment with what you are good at and what you thrive at, and what you enjoy doing, it's not going to stop you. So I hope that answered your question. Jana Ketamaki, can you see me finding happiness again? Yes, it's something that comes and goes, but yes, I can see you overall doing that soul work. You have to do that work within, right? You have to start looking at yourself truthfully, 100%, being honest with yourself. You'll start finding that happiness as you start to heal some of these things that you realize are within you. We choose to be happy. That is very true. We choose whether we want to be happy or sad. Now, there are certain events in our life that will make us feel certain things, whether you want to or not. If you're not, you're a sociopath, right? You have no feeling, right? If you're not having a feeling or being sad or angry about something, right? There's an issue there. But yeah, I think it's really about focusing on yourself right now, focusing on within, finding the happiness within. What made you happy from when you were a little girl? That wonder of the world. I think you've kind of related or attached what you think is going to make you happy, whether it be a relationship or which I feel kind of that's what it is like this harmonious relationship, and looking for that and thinking that that's going to make you happy, or money, having more money or having more things. And we were just talking about that earlier. That makes you happy for about 5 minutes, and then it doesn't sustain. What you want is right within you. I know it's cheesy and a cliche as that sounds, it is. So search yourself. Turtles, yeah. Mayvi, am I doing the right thing career wise? I think it's necessary. You may have been able to kind of wait a little bit, but I no, you're doing it. So I think you're kind of ahead of schedule. It is going to make it a little bit more exciting, I should say, um, or interesting, more adventure. No, you're not. I feel like you're right. You're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing. You keep questioning yourself, but the wheels are already in motion. You're welcome, Diana. Yeah, we in here in Utah hibernate. Jen, do the same thing. Where are you from? Are you from like California, right? Somewhere where it snows, obviously. Yeah, and we hibernate here, like snowbound for 3 4 months here. Actually, it's been pretty nice, but now in March it decides to snow. Which, if you're a spring skier, that's awesome. It's a good time to ski when it starts to get sunny out, but they have a good enough base. I just got kicked out. This is Kaila Atkinson. Kaila. I'm not sure. Sorry. I just got kicked out from a place yesterday and have probation on the 7th. Am I going to have any trouble? I mean, the trouble you have is right now, like the worry. A lot of it's the worry. I feel like you're going to get it taken care of. It's just something you need to stay on top of. If you don't stay on top of it and you don't do what's required, um, and you're just kind of, you know, letting it go and you don't really act like you don't care or show that you don't care, yes, then you will have trouble. But I feel like you still have time to take care of things and remedy things. Just be honest and do what you need to do. That was for Kaila Atkinson. Wow, kids have missed a half a month school. They don't do that here. They actually said they were going to be no school. And I remember when I was a kid. No. But seriously, when I was a kid, for us to get a snow day, it had to snow like 10 feet. Or so bad that you couldn't drive, and that only happened a couple of times. All right, guys. So it's blessing time for the new week, for the new month, for March. I want to let you all know, think March is going to be a good month for us. So let's project those good positive thoughts. However, let's not ignore the negative ones so we can transmute them, so we can help remedy some of these negatives, these unnecessary negatives, these manufactured negatives that are meant to be there to harm us, right? Let's not ignore it, though. Let's not ignore things just because they don't fit into our happy little box. That's not happiness. That's ignorance. Anyway, so may you all have a great week. I bless you all. May the universe bless you all to have an abundant and great week with total clarity. Y'all have a great week. I'll see you soon. Much love to all of you. Bye-bye.